Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike Pingel Show. Hey, I'm Mike Pingel. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on my Facebook page or the website or even here TV, thank you for being with us. Today we have an author, we have a hairstylist, and also a advocate for LGBTQ. He has done everything. He's even stalked Dolly Parton. That's what I hear. I'm not really sure. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Today we have Cody Renegar. No, Renegar. How do you pronounce your last name?
Renegar. It's Renegar.
Oh, I did it right, didn't I?
You nailed it. Perfect.
Oh, okay, the show's done. The show is done. Thank you for joining me for my show.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation, Mike. It's good to be here.
So your new book, Changing the Stars, is out. There it is. Oh,
Here it is.
Show it. Yes. It is out. It is out now for sale, and I think that's exciting. We can't wait to talk about it. But first, we have to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. I got to tell you, it is, and of course, I wasn't prepared, but we need to talk about.
There she.
We need to talk about Farrah and her hair. You were a hairstylist over at Jose Bear, who was also a friend of mine when I was Farrah Fawcett's assistant. So, Cody.
I did not know that.
Yes, I was. Do you have some inside Farrah Fawcett hair stories you can share with us?
Well, Farrah, I worked next to Jose for a while, and he's actually fantastic. But I think if you know that how Jose got his start, I mean, he actually became famous by doing her hair for the Charlie's Angels. So, I mean, he was already, on the up, but that's what put him on the map. And that's what gave him a salon on Rodeo Drive. Farrah, you still came. I started working with him in 2004. And I think he was just kind of over it at that point. I think he had been doing hair and been in the industry for so long and it's just kind of over it. So whenever I was working next to him, she would come in for blowouts and a few others would come in for blowouts. And he's like, let's go to Cody. And so I'm like, oh, yes, me. There are several like that. But I kind of, he was amazing. And I mentioned him quite a bit in the book, actually. But he was amazing. So I got to just kind of take his lightweight over. And it was amazing. I was 26 when I started there. Wow. And I was just loving it.
Now, how lovely was she? Did she tell you any stories? Were you doing anything? Were you doing her hair for something specific, or was it just?
I was more of a daily wear kind of person. I would have loved to do some. I think she was filming her show. What was that? Chasing Farrah or something like that at the time.
Oh yeah.
And
I was on Chasing Farrah.
Was that what it was? Yeah. So what did you say? You were?
I was on Chasing Farrah too. Yes.
You were. So okay. So was that? So this is 2004, 2005. Around then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then you probably booked her appointment with me, actually.
No, I wasn't her assistant. I was just on the show, and I was her assistant afterwards.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she just came. She had amazing stories, but she was just such a lovely, fun. I felt like I was just talking to like my big sister or something. She was just so engaging and just so chill,
That was Farrah.
Yeah.
So who else have you done? Who else can you tell us you've done their hair?
Well, in that same genre, Jose pushed several people, but Elizabeth Taylor was kind of my big. I really loved to do her blowouts and whatnot. She was a doll, and it was towards the end there, of course, also. But some of the bigger names I can't really say, but there's some. I signed, since I do so many celebrities now, you have to sign an NDA, which says you're not allowed to say it. But I think a lot of people will see my face around some of their Instagram.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. I mean,
I can talk about my sweetheart, one of my good friends.
Who?
Marie Osmond.
What? No, don't go there yet, because don't go there yet.
Oh, there's my girl. Yeah, she is amazing.
Okay, since you brought her up, tell us about Marie. I love Marie.
Well, Marie just absolutely is everything she says she is. I can tell you that. In this industry, that's very rare, very, very rare. But I'll tell you, I could talk about Marie all day. She is she's kind of become like my stand-in mom, I guess. But she's just so kind and loving, and she is absolutely everything she says she is. I'll tell you that. But let me tell you, when I worked on The Talk with her, I was her hairstylist on The Talk. And we would go out into the audience, and she would look out and know absolutely everyone who had been there before and who was there the first time. Her mind was just that way, and she was so engaging. And I would walk around with her to say hello, and she knew everyone's first names, all of her fans. She literally knows them, their lives, their family, their backstory. She's just everything she says she should be. And we speak almost daily, and she just is kind. It's just like talking to you and I. I mean, she's just a kind soul.
Yeah, I don't think she knows me, but I've had a couple of encounters with her of nothing.
She's about to know you because she'll see this.
But I saw on your Instagram or your Facebook her being blonde. What is up with that? And she looks fantastic as a blonde.
Well, that was fun. That was thank you. She trusted me. She let me do that. She likes to kind of do different looks for, to hide from paparazzi and stuff like that whenever she needs to, as most celebrities do. But so it wasn't her first time being blonde, but I think it was her first time being blonde on like national TV or anything like that. So when I sat down, it was my second day at work, actually. I walked into her dressing room and I said, Marie, I said, I need to let them know I'm here. I said, today we're going blonde. And she said, I trust you. She grabbed my hand. She said, let's do it. She's so adventurous that way. So I grabbed some old wig, shook it out under, it was like in a cabinet, shook it out, sprayed some color on it, cut it, gave it an amazing like little cut, because it was a long one originally. And within just an hour, I smashed it on her head and off she went, and she broke the internet. I mean, she showed up on that stage. We were on the cover of Google. We were on the front page of Google for 3 days. We were in almost 40 different magazines, and it just went viral. So now if you Google Marie Osmond, my picture pops up, and I was just so extreme. She's a very funny lady. I was so extremely, she was saying funny stuff in my ear. So I'm like totally doing an ugly laugh in the photos. So the pictures that went viral were not flattering of me, but I didn't care because I was with her.
You look great. You look great. My little story with Miss Marie Osmond. One of my good friends took me to the holiday show here at the whatever theater it was here down in Hollywood, and she kissed my bald head. During the show, she comes.
Oh.
And then I took a picture. Then the next day, they did a signing over at Macy. Now I'm sounding like a crazy person. And anyway, so she signed it, and she signed the picture, and I'm sure now. So. Anyway, so I grew
She was
up
a sweetheart, wasn't she? She probably still remembers her name to this day. I'm telling you that one.
I doubt it, because they were running. I mean, literally, they were running to the limo, and because their time was done, and they were like leaving, and they're like, "Bye," and I was like, "Stop!" Okay, now.
Yeah, I bet you. Mike, I bet you she remembers that. I'm telling you, this woman is a genius.
I doubt it. And then I saw them at Walmart. And they are just the most genuine people. They love their fans. And it was, I'll tell you, okay, now I'm just geeking out here about Donnie and Marie. And sorry for it's all about you, Cody, but right this moment, I'm going to take a little moment. So I was standing there at the Walmart, and they had their new CD out. This is like 10 years ago, I think. And I brought all my records and my dolls, and okay, crazy me. And so they said, you can only have 2 things signed and the album. And I'm like, okay, great. So, and I wanted season 1 and season 2 of the albums from their show. And so I'm pulling out like things out of my bag and just setting them down on the table. And Donnie just kept grabbing them and signing. I'm like, stop, those are not the ones I want signed. They signed everything.
What was it? What did he sign?
They signed the 2 albums, the CD, his doll. I had his doll. My sister had a doll, and I had Princess Leia. But anyway, so
that's amazing.
He took it and he ripped the back off and took it back and moved it forward. Those two are.
Yeah, the Princess Leia doll. That's amazing.
I had the Princess Leia.
Did you see that she dressed as Princess Leia? Once?
Yes. When they did the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Okay,
right.
back to you. So, talking about icons, you were a part of Hollywood to Dollywood. The movie. Now tell me a little bit. We discussed a little bit about it, but tell me how that came about and what happened after the success of that film. Go.
I'd love to talk about this, actually. Yeah. So I have 2. My first day in Hollywood, 18 years ago, I think it was. I met these 2 amazing men called Larry and Gary Lane, and they are kind kind of highly one of icons at this point because they've been all over the place. They're these identical twins and gay twins, and they're kind of a powerhouse. They've won they started out kind of winning what was that show, Fear Factor and Wipeout and all these things. They were on Oprah as like the most look-alike twins. So they're also in Spider-Man in the suit thing and in the school. I mean, they've just been in everything, absolutely everything. I think most people would recognize them. But anyway, they wrote a script and they were going to take it to Dolly. They wrote a movie for her and wrote a part for her. So they rented an RV and drove from Hollywood to Dollywood, and they named the RV Jolene.
Love it.
And they were right, and I was kind of keeping up with them on social media and everything. I was living in Arkansas at the time because I moved back from LA to raise my son there on this little farm. So I was keeping up with them, and I saw that they couldn't go, I think it was Memphis or something, because of the flooding, and they were going to have to make a detour. And I said, well, why don't you just come to my town? Because they wanted a small town, like a small gay bar, type thing. So they pulled right up in Jolene and at the RV park. We did an interview there, and my part, in the editing, I think it became like a kind of a tearjerker moment. So because I'm speaking about raising my son and the way my son accepted me being gay, like at an early age, in a very innocent way. And in all of the movie, what are the festivals, it was getting like these rave reviews, and people were really starting to notice myself and Levi. Not that my interview was that amazing, but because the editor made it seem amazing. Anyway, so all these people just started getting more and more attention on us, and only because Larry and Gary just kind of know what they're doing and are absolutely amazing. So a lot of people figured out who I was by that movie, Hollywood to Dollywood. And I'll say those guys actually are so amazing. They're doing a new movie now called Still Working 9 to 5. Sorry, I almost forgot.
Oh, wow.
Still Working 9 to 5. And you're gonna see it. They've redone the song. I mean, it's gonna be huge. So I'm really excited for them. So proud of those boys.
I loved it. So, and you also told me that after that movie, you became like a media sensation in Arkansas, and you became an activist for marriage equality there. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
I would love to. Yeah, I was so incredibly honored that I became this icon. I was actually in another relationship at the time, and we were planning on getting married, and obviously that fell through, but in the way the universe wanted it to. But we had a writer there. There was a writer that came from New York to my home, and he literally stayed in my home for a few days and did a story on me. And while I was there, he was just doing a story on me and the movie, actually. That's how that segued into. And then while he was there, I was still planning my wedding and all this stuff. And I called the newspaper and I said, I just want to put my engagement photo. And they realized it was two men, and they said, we don't do that. And I was like, well, why not? And he said, well, that's just, his exact quote was, that's just the way we've always done it, boy. And I was like, oh, really? I will be in touch. And that writer that was sitting there, he was a Yahoo writer. And he said, I'll write your story. So he wrote this long, amazing engagement announcement, and it went viral. He posted on Yahoo, and it just went viral. I mean, so unexpected. We became this other thing. And so his boss apparently says, well, since that got so much attention, we need to do a story now on the discrimination that occurred in this, that brought this on. And as soon as he wrote that, and it just launched. It was mentioned on the Good Day, Good Morning America, Good Day LA, the Ellen DeGeneres show, that Hollywood Gossip Queen. It just went crazy viral. And I don't know if you've ever seen or known anyone that went viral, but you received millions of, or not millions, like just thousands of emails, like hate emails and love emails, and just, it's overwhelming. We literally had to hide in the back of our house, and it was just crazy that those what are those Westboro Baptist Church people were like sending us threads. It was just beyond amazing. But that was only about 5% of it. We received so much love and so much support by the gay community all over the world and our allies that we were like grand marshals of pride parades and everything. And it was just this most beautiful. So standing up and standing up for what I believed really became an absolutely beautiful thing. And I would encourage you all to do the same.
Awesome. Wow. Listen, look what Dolly does. Dolly just makes everything better. She does.
I love Dolly.
She made my Christmas better with all her Christmas albums. I've talked about it before. All the Christmas stuff. She ruled 2020 for Christmas.
Yeah. Did you see
Period.
that portrait I did of her on my Facebook?
I did not. We're going to have to look at that.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. It's pretty cool.
So talking about portrait, you're an amazing artist. How did you fall into being an artist? Was it something you did to escapism, or was it just an art, something you've always had? You're very talented.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I think art became, I was triggered at an early age. I was 5 years old living in a foster home, and I had been homeless. I don't want to run the book, but I had been homeless up until that. We were just living everywhere under bridges and abandoned houses and whatnot. So all of a sudden I'm in this foster home, and it wasn't a safe foster home. So I would find these places to hide. And so I just happened to find this little book, and I actually have a picture of that book. I have a, somewhere, I don't know. Anyway, it was a little like those golden books, and it was this boy jumping over a log riding a horse. And I don't even know if I had seen a horse, although I found out years later I was named after a horse. So anyway, I sit down and I think I want to keep this picture for myself, and I didn't know how to do it. So I tore out in every book. There's like a blank page, you know. So I tore that paper out because we didn't have paper. I tore that out and I just start drawing, and I'm just trying to copy that so I could just keep it for myself, that picture of the book cover. And as I'm drawing on this like nightstand with a lamp, and there are people who are coming by ruffling my hair going, "Wow, good job, Cody." And they're just like, "Wow, you really are talented. You're an artist, Cody." And I'm just like, this is honestly the first time in my life I had received praise, and that's what it is. But so I think it just triggered something, and I was like, as long as I'm drawing, someone's going to be proud of me. Someone's going to encourage me. Someone's not going to beat me, and someone's going to ruffle my hair and pat on the back. So I haven't stopped drawing since. And that first thing I drew was that horse, and now I'm a horse artist. There's one of my paintings behind me of a horse artist, a horse in Scotland that I took a photo of, actually Northern England. And anyway, so that's some of my art. So anyway, I think art and painting has always been kind of an escape for me as well, a happy escape. And I still do it all day. I have many celebrities now and very amazing people that collect my art. And it's just like I get paid to do the thing I love the most. And I'm absolutely floored that that's my life.
That's amazing. And so is that what took you to the journey of writing the book?
Writing the book, I think a lot of people, when I've said this before, a lot of people will tell a little bit about their story, and people just say, "Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book." And it's kind of a knee-jerk thing that people say to everyone. Whereas in the first part of my book, I say everyone has a story. Absolutely, everyone has a story, and here's mine. So I'm not saying there's anything grand about my story. I'm just saying, why don't you put your story down on paper? I think we all have a book. So since so many people were encouraging me, and so many people, especially after the movie, especially after we ended up in the spotlight quite a bit, I just felt like I would catch that momentum. Seeing so many people wanted to know about me, so I decided to put it down on paper. And I just sat down one day at by my fireplace with a glass of wine on my iPad and just started piling up all my thoughts, all my memories, the best I can. And then I would kind of go back through and polish, and end up in this big scrap pile of memories. So I ended up having to hire a very talented ghostwriter to help me organize it all. Then at the very end, I hired a talented editor, and all of a sudden I have a book. So I think anybody can be a writer. If I can, then anybody can.
Can you tell me what the journey in the book is about?
Yeah, I start out, the book is meant to be very inspirational. I think that I have always had a different view of life. I had an extremely traumatic youth, as many have, and my story is not any more relative than, or more significant than anyone else's. Honestly, it's just all relative. So I tell the damage that had been done in my family cycle. I talk about my mother and my grandfather, and then the different cycles that hadn't been broken. And then I tell about my story and my siblings' story. And we were, like I said, homeless. There were 5 of us, and we were just traveling, and not only were we homeless, but we were being abused very badly. And we really didn't know any different. We just kind of thought this was life. We always thought we were on a journey or an adventure, and there was some destination, but we didn't know what it was, So it was never a poor me. It was just like, well, this is life. This is where we landed. I don't think I had anyone really to compare it to. So anyway, so I tell all this crazy, crazy stuff. About 1/4 of the book is really hard to read, and the rest of it is absolutely wonderful, and it has a happy ending. And it's just more encouraging. It's all about choosing happiness and your perspective. And not letting these crazy things that have happened to all of us get us down. You know, it's behind us. Why would you keep repeating that in your mind? So my book, Changing the Stars, is about changing your own destiny and not falling back into victim mentality.
That's amazing. So
I'll talk a little.
So you have how many siblings?
Oh, okay. Originally there were 5 of us. The 5 of us that were homeless, there were 5. But
Okay.
then my mother had 2 more. My dad had 4 more. We think there's some more out there somewhere.
Oh, wow. Do you still keep in touch
Yeah.
with at least your originals, or do you talk to all of them? Or
I do. Well, my youngest brother is homeless and lives in Denver and doesn't have a phone or anything, so it's really hard for us to get a hold of him. We go years not even knowing if he's alive at times. And sometimes we'll check the police records or homeless shelters and try to find him and just to keep up with him a little bit. But he's just he's chosen to be homeless. He was also born an alcoholic, so I think that was his life struggle and his path. And then my little brother, he's kind of been in and out of prisons, and I mean, I'd love to have a relationship, but I don't even know, I don't know him. My oldest sister still struggling with her victim mentality, and then I dedicated my book to my sister Sue, who is just above me. She's 3 years older than I, and she's the hero of my book. She kept me alive, basically.
Nice. What did you learn about yourself with writing the book?
It took me 6 years to write this book because I had to take long pauses because memories that I thought I had healed from presented themselves in pretty intense flashbacks, like a lot of smells or visuals, like a lot of different things triggered stuff that I thought were long gone. I had moved forward and focused on the rest of my life. So I think what I learned about myself is that I hadn't healed properly, almost like a break that heals, without. So I think writing this book, and this is kind of an epiphany I'm having at this moment. I think writing this book is kind of like when they have to re-break your bones so it'll heal properly. And I feel like getting all that out of there and digging up those scars and digging up the bones and just smoothing over, I feel like I just healed again. It was very therapeutic for me. And I'm extremely excited to share this message. That's my most important thing. I just want us all to feel the same way.
What do you hope that people reading the book get out of it?
I just hope they know that they can choose. They're not stuck anywhere. They get to choose their happiness, however much you want. It's yours to take. It is just a mindset. It's a simple mindset, honestly.
Okay, so you are hard to believe, you are a grandfather?
3. I have 3 beautiful grandkids.
And you have a son. Now, how has your son reacted to the book? Did he know the stories before? And how did you, raise him differently than the world that you were raised in?
Ooh, I love that. Well, first of all, my son literally sent me a message 2 days ago and said, it felt like reading the book. He said it felt like he was watching a movie for the 3rd time because he's grown up with a lot of these stories. I sheltered him from the details, the darker details. Excuse me. But he told me it was like watching a movie 3 times over, that he's extremely proud of me and for putting myself out there. And he's always been just a huge supporter. He's just such an amazing young 24-year-old man. And so, yeah, he has 0 problems. He was very proud of me. And that makes me, every time he tells me he's proud of me, it just fuels me a little bit more to stand up taller and be bigger and better and everything. What was your last question?
I don't know. I can't remember now. All I can think of is that you're a grandfather. Okay,
let me show you that.
What kind of skincare do you use? Because that's ridiculous.
Look at those babies. I will talk about them all day long.
How youthful can you be? I mean, really, honestly, come on. We have to talk about this. I look like an ancient man, and you have like grandchildren.
Well, I had my son early. I was 20 when he was born, so I'm 44 and he's 24. So
so that's the secret.
Yeah, just start early. Yeah.
Having your children early, the only way to keep you young and youthful. I got it.
Yeah, it's amazing because I can still chase my grandkids around, and I told you that the boy, he's named after me, and that's just been the greatest compliment of my life. And he acts like me, and he looks like me, and he's just a cool kid.
Oh my gosh, does that scare you?
Oh, you asked me about raising my son. So all of this, my childhood taught me what not to do, and that's what I've always said. So I think I was an amazing dad. I had many flaws and lost my temper, and it was, I was just a mess many times, but I loved him deeply, and he was my everything, and he still is. He's just awesome dude. And so I think that my childhood helped me be a better dad because I knew the opposite. I knew exactly what not to do,
And it's amazing that you came out at the other end. I mean, a lot of people, even, your brothers and sisters are still struggling with it. And hopefully your book will help others to.
That's exactly why I wrote the book, yeah.
Their lives or their stuff that they've gone through. It's amazing. So let's just talk about some fun things now. What are some of your favorite products to use on people's hair?
On people's hair, I worked with Aveda for many years, and I've tried so many other products, and I still go back to Aveda. It's still in my kit. Since I'm freelance, I can kind of keep whatever I want. I'm not signed on to any product line. So I choose Aveda and Oribe. Those are the two. I love both of those so much. And you can do absolutely anything you want with your hair with those products.
What's your favorite? Endorsement. Paycheck. Send a paycheck. What is your favorite paint you use for being an artist? Do you have a favorite one?
Oil. Yeah, I like oil. I use the Winston professional grade oil paintings. I do acrylic also if I need to do something that's kind of quick drying, but most people don't know this, but acrylic it dries like within 10 minutes at the most, and then oil takes 2 to 3 days to dry between layers. And when you paint, you usually do, if it's a deep paint, you do like 5 layers maybe, or at least I do. So oil painting will take me a while because I have to let each layer dry, and then the acrylic is if I want to do something quick.
Okay. And who does your hair?
I do.
Oh.
I cut it in this. This is probably why there's some flaws there somewhere. But
No.
I usually am just like, I put it off in the shower. Yeah, thanks.
Without saying a name, what was your favorite celebrity story? You don't have to say who they are, but something that happened that was fun, exciting, or weird. Unless but no names. If you don't have to give any names.
Well, I don't know if this is so much a celebrity story, but I have always loved the show Will and Grace. And Will and Grace, that show actually helped me come out because that was the time I was coming out and I saw it on TV and I felt like, oh, this isn't something I should be ashamed of. It really empowered me to be loud and proud. So full circle, last year I got to be on the show. I got to be on the set. I was a guest of a guest on the show, a guest of one of the actors. And at the end of this, they actually had me like get up in front of the whole audience and like sing a song on the mic, like help hype them up. And then at the end, the producer came and let me go like around the set and take selfies. And actually he took my phone and was like, I'm going to take all the pictures. So I have tons of pictures on the set of Will and Grace. And that's when I fangirled like a madman. It was awesome. That was the biggest. And I've worked with some of the biggest names in this industry, but Will and Grace was the pinnacle of my fangirling in Hollywood.
Nice. You mentioned singing. Is singing another secret hobby?
Oh, God. Okay, so here's the thing. The guest, I was there with the bodyguard of one of the actors. Am I skirting around all that? Good enough. So I was there. So he told the guy, every show they have the hype guy. They try to get the crowd going and they feed you like candy. And so I'm sitting there and I saw the bodyguard go up to that guy and he pointed at me and I was like, oh, okay. And the guy is kind of ornery. He's this fantastic ornery Australian fella. And so he told the MC there to mess with me a little bit. So he came up and I kind of anticipated, and I am not a singer. I mean, I don't let something like that stop me. I am a karaoke god, but most people need to leave the room or put earplugs in. Anyway, so so he brought that microphone, and I think the song was "We Will Rock You" or something that's not so hard. So he grabbed the microphone, and he started to put it in my face, and I was like, "Oh hell no!" So I just grabbed the microphone, stood up, and got in front of the crowd, and I just got everybody going. But if you watch the video, I didn't put that microphone anywhere near my mouth. I was just like, "Yes, we will rock you," just clapping. I got the audience to do the singing for me. Then I handed it back to him. I was like, "You're not gonna get Cody today." Does that make sense?
Now, I bet if they played Jolene, you would have been all over it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I got that. I don't even need to carry a tune. I will bust that out.
Cody, it has been a pleasure speaking with you today. Show the book and tell everybody where they can find it.
Amazon.com, Changing the Stars by Cody Renegar. Isn't that glossy? Of course I had to do glossy. I had to make this thing pop.
Exactly. Pop, pop, pop.
Amazon.
Where else can people find you and more about you?
I have a fan page on Facebook, just Cody Renegar, Renegar. I'm sure you'll put it in your link. Yeah, I have several. I have a hair by Cody 90210. I have art by Cody Renegar. I'm all over the place. It's not going to be hard to find. If you Google me, I'll pop up.
You pop up with Murray Osmond hair.
Thank you so much, Mike. This has been fantastic.
Thank you, Cody, and thank you everybody out there for watching today at the Mike Pingel Show. Please like us, share us with all your friends and family around the world. And if you're watching on Happy TV, or if you want to get Happy TV, it's a free prescription. I don't really know, but you can just go on your Fire Stick or online and sign up for the best of LGBTQ free movies, shows like mine, and the best of the stuff online. So it's free. So just do it. I mean, I don't know why you're not doing it. Why are you not watching the show? You're probably watching the show anyway on Happy TV. Thank you, Cody, again for joining me. Thank you, everybody out there. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, Mike.